Welcome to RANsquawk's EU morning briefing for Monday, the 11th of January 2010. With the Japanese markets closed for a market holiday overnight, the markets in Europe opening up, taking heed from the Chinese session, where we did see the Shanghai Composite close up 0.5%. Much of the focus there was on economic data, where the trade balance came in much higher than expected. In particular, Chinese exports for December on a year-on-year basis came in at 17.7%. That was as expected 5%, with imports at 55.9%, way above the expected 32.9%. The strength there has carried through and seen the European and UK equities trade up around 1% across the board, and that as well, that increase in risk appetite has sent the dollar lower, the dollar index trading down around 1/3%, which has helped keep commodities as well up across the board, with WTI crude futures above 83.50, showing a gain of around 75 cents at the moment. Spot gold prices also up over 1.5% as we speak. So basic materials, the best performers in the FTSE CAC and DAX this morning. Also as well on the equity note, one notable mover is Swiss Life, whose shares have been up as much as 7% this morning in early trade, as after continued weekend speculation added to the rumours last week that Allianz could potentially bid for Swiss Life. The value there being given by local Swiss press is at $3.7 billion US. No other comments though from the companies as yet, so we'll keep an eye on that. Elsewhere, we have seen Chinese business confidence index also jump to 127.7 in Q4 from 120.1 in Q3, which has also added to that positive sentiment to get the markets underway today. In terms of Bund futures, under pressure then down around 15 ticks or so, with the strength in equities and having found a bit of support so far this morning at around those lows which were printed post payrolls on Friday. In terms of comments then, from Fed's Bullard over the weekend, said the Federal Reserve's monetary policies are unlikely to be pushed off course by December's surprising job losses. He also said that the Fed's liquidity programs were not inflationary concern, and he signalled that the US Central Bank was in no rush to raise rates. That was from Fed's Bullard. Elsewhere in Europe, Moody's may downgrade Portugal's credit ratings unless it takes credible measures to control its deficit. We have seen that reflected in terms of the Portuguese and German 10-year yield spreads, which have widened out to around 67 basis points from a previous 60 this morning. Elsewhere in the currency markets, we have seen some strength in sterling. Obviously, as mentioned, the dollar is weaker, so already giving a bit of a lifting cable. The cable up around 100 pips or so, chiefly buoyed by some easing in sentiment over the potential of the AAA rating of the UK, after leading city firms, including some of the biggest dealers in gilts, said that a downgrade of Britain's AAA sovereign debt rating remains unlikely for this year. In geopolitical news, also worth noting that Iran could be bombed, according to US General Petraeus, who said that although he did not elaborate on the plans, that military has considered the impacts of any action taken, if possible, on Iran. So another thing helped underpinning the rise in WTI as well today. Taking a look ahead though, very light in terms of economic data, nothing of major note out of the US. Will just be the employment trends index we'll look out for. From Canada though, we'll have housing starts and building permits, and then we'll have the first of the US auctions in the 10-year tips later on. That'll be at 6 o'clock London and midday in Chicago.